All right. I'm going into the next video that I was talking about. So in my last video, I talked about how energy is life force. Okay. And it wasn't a very deep explanation about it, but it was kind of an overview. We'll be going more into detail on these things as we move forward. But I want to bring it to your attention because I want you to, I want you guys to go research this on your own. I want you guys to experience it for yourselves. Okay. I can't do everything for you. Come on. So I'm going to tell you how you can improve your energetic space. Okay. So I have explained to you guys that I grew up in a very rough home. There was a lot of negativity in my home. And so what happens when you are raised in those environments is you vibrate negativity. Why do you think there is such a separation between the people in poverty versus the people that are of wealth? There is a separation in vibration, in energy, in frequency. Okay, these are all words you're going to want to pay attention. So if you've been taught and you grew up in poverty, then you more than likely have a poverty mindset, and that's what you vibrate. Therefore, you're going to stay in poverty unless you choose to change your mindset, okay, to get out of that. Yeah. And so when I talk about vibration and frequency, why is it that we continue to have patterns in these negative relationships? Why do we continue in that? It's because we attract what we are. Let me repeat that. We attract what we are and where we are at energetically, our frequency, our vibration. So part of the reason why I vibrated those negative relationships of mine is because that's where I was at. Okay. So I can sit there and I can play the victim and I can say, it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault. And I mean, we all have a part to play, don't we? But I had to stop and say, well, why am I allowing this? It's another great word, allowing, alignment. Why am I allowing this into my life? It's because I haven't healed from past things. So who can I change? I can change me. Woohoo! So I have the power to change my circumstances. Isn't that amazing? I love that. I love it so much. So with that being said, that's why it's so important to heal mentally and emotionally and spiritually. That way we raise our vibration. We increase that positive energy in us. And so when I started learning this and I started learning about energy and I told you that there was a very, very dark time for me, probably about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Being away from my children has been very, very difficult for me. A very necessary time. I've grown so much and they're going to be back with me soon. I know it. I feel it in my bones. But I would lay there in the mornings, and there were mornings where I didn't want to get out of bed. And I would be thinking about all the things in the past that were hurting me. And then I would think about the tasks that I had at hand today. That weight, can you feel it? All that anxiety. And then I would think about tomorrow and the people that I owed money to and the things that I had coming up that I didn't have the answers to. And all of that weighed on me. It causes anxiety, heart palpitations, your mind racing. You can't sleep. Why do you think I was drinking? That's the only way I could get my mind to calm down at night. So I don't know why I started doing this, but I came out of the church. And so I started going, well, what can I be thankful for? Instead of sitting here vibrating on all these negative things, what can I be thankful for? And this is kind of where this started for me in about 2 years ago. It's been a progression. So I'd lay there and I'd go, I'm thankful that I have air in my lungs. I'm thankful at that time before my vehicle was repossessed, my vehicle works. I'm thankful that I can get from point A to point B. I'm thankful that for the people that I do have in my life. I'm thankful that I have this bed to sleep in. I'm thankful that my kids are healthy and that they're safe. And when I started vibrating that, I started noticing a shift. Okay, and I started my reality started changing. And that's when that gentleman came into my life and he was able to teach me about a deeper love. God sent him to teach me a deeper love that I was supposed to experience. So I started vibrating more positively. And then I met another gentleman, which is a part of my path. He was another relationship that he wasn't I'm thankful for him because there was a lot of amazing things I can take from that. Because remember, every experience that we go through, we learn things from. So even though you might be like, oh, that was bad. No, it's never bad, because you learned about what you don't want. So you move towards what you do want. So he taught me a lot of things about what I don't want. But one of the things that was very helpful was he was the one that presented law of attraction to me. That was one of the big things that started expanding my mind into experiencing God, the universe source, in a much deeper fashion. And so I would start talking about, the past, and what I had experienced, like with my ex-husband and the pain that I had gone through. And he'd always be like, stop talking about that. I'd be like, well, that's what I went through. He's like, yeah, but you're vibrating negativity. You can't change the past. Obviously, we can learn lessons from it, but we have to point towards the future. What do I want to create? What do I want to live in? Do I want to live in the past and the hurt and the pain? Or do I want to move forward and live in the positivity? And I started realizing that. And then when I got around people that started doing that, I started feeling that. And I'd be like, oh, why are they talking about that? That doesn't feel very good. And I started noticing how that energy, then when our words, our thoughts, how all of that started affecting my energy. Now, we have to get into a momentum. We talk about that snowball effect that I was telling you about. If we are in the momentum of negative energy, we are going to create and we're going to speed up that momentum of more negative energy, and we're going to keep going that way. So notice our momentum stops every day when we go to sleep. We have an opportunity every morning to wake up and start a positive and or a negative momentum every morning. You have that choice. It's your choice, and so you have to choose consciously. And when you are so used to vibrating negativity, it's hard. Habits are hard to change, just like, smoking cigarettes, right? It's a habit that you have to change. And so just like working your muscles, you have to build that up. So I started doing that positive stuff, and then I started noticing, becoming aware is the next big thing. When you're aware of it, then you start catching yourself, and then you start doing it. And you know what? Sometimes it feels better to be angry, but really, what's at the bottom of that anger? It's usually hurt, rejection, abandonment, and then you get angry, but stop and go back to that positivity. What can I be thankful for? Because when you start vibrating that, you start bringing more positive experiences into your life. So that's when I started. My negativity was brought to my attention. So I started changing that as well. Momentum, habit building. So I still sometimes think about the past, and I'm human. Okay, I still have a human body. It gets to me, but I have to stop myself. Instead of continuing down that thought process, I have to stop and be like, I learned very valuable lessons there. I'm thankful. Thankfulness is also going to increase and improve that positivity. Instead of watching people walk down the street and be like, ooh, look at her hair, why don't you be like, listen, you be you, boo. Because you know what? I believe that everybody is doing the best with what they have. And if they were, only given negativity throughout their entire life, that's probably what they're going to vibrate. Just think about that for a second. But how can I help somebody? How can I help increase that? Smiling at somebody, doing a kind gesture, opening a door for somebody, helping somebody pick something up, offering your assistance. Do you know how helpful that is? Have you ever noticed when somebody a complete stranger offers to help you? You know how good that makes you feel inside? Think about that for a second. You can change somebody's entire day by one simple gesture. And we have to be kind to ourselves. We have limiting beliefs in our minds, which is also why we continue vibrating on these lower things. And a lot of our beliefs were formed when we were children, and then they continue to be confirmed by how we live our lives. But we can change that. If we can change our mind, listen, our mind is powerful, guys. The mind is powerful. You think your muscles are powerful? Yeah, go punch somebody in the face. Get yourself in jail. That's powerful. You know what? Outthink them. Use your mind. That's where the power is. Wake up, guys. Wake up. And that's how we connect to source. This is how we connect to God. That positivity, that's how we can, when you feel good walking through life, that's when you know you're connected to him. That's when you know. When you're feeling negative and you have distanced yourself from him. That's you. He doesn't move. You're the one that moves. So are you going to start changing your positive attitude? By the way, the relationships that you have in your life, that's what you're attracting. So instead of going out looking for love, looking for acceptance, looking for connection, connect with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. Work on yourself. Because when you start improving your mental, emotional, and spiritual health, what do you think you're going to attract? You don't have to go anywhere. That incredibly passionate, beautiful, amazing woman, or that chivalrous, handsome, kind, manly man is going to walk into your life when you least expect it, because you're having so much fun working on yourself and you're loving yourself because you are complete in yourself, that they have no choice but to come into your life to complement you, not to fill a void, to complement you. I'm perfectly content with being single right now. I hope you guys know this. I am loving life right now. And do I desire to have somebody come into my life and compliment me and love me the way that I want to love? Of course. But guess what? I'm not willing to settle. Absolutely not. I'm going to continue working on me, and I'm going to continue doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and he'll show up when he's supposed to. Who knows? Might be today, might be tomorrow, might be next week. Maybe never. Maybe I'll be single for the rest of my life. And I'd be okay with that. See, actually I won't. See, did you see that? I actually won't. I would be though. I'd be content because I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And that in and of itself, it's a beautiful thing. So I might go into talking about intuition next. Ooh, that's another really good one. Yeah. So intuition and learning how to trust ourselves. See, I didn't trust myself for a long time. I think that's a really good one. And that's a whole nother conversation. But it goes along all of these lines when we talk about energy and improving our energy with positivity. And, you know, I listen, we can teach you, I can teach you how to help you release that negative energy from you, from other people and from your past. And see, this is when I tell you I'm a healer. I can help shift the energy in people. And, you know, I'm still learning how to do that. The spiritual activator, that's what he does. And, you know, they know about this stuff too. I'm not the only one, guys. So don't just take my word for it. Go out, do your research. But you're going to find, once again, that what Tara is saying is all true. But there is wisdom in doing your research. I encourage it. I want you to. I'll tell you all the different places where I've gone. Go listen to Abraham Hicks' Law of Attraction. Go listen to Sophia Persimmon. She teaches a lot about what's going on in the higher realms and more about spiritual awakening. You have the spiritual activator. I also listen to different YouTube videos. So anyways, those are different ones I listen to. All right, I'm going to jump off. And I may go into intuition in just a little bit. So if you guys have questions, listen, please subscribe. Please follow me. I'm just ramping up. There's going to be a huge shift in my life here in the next week. Okay. It's going to be cool. I can't wait to share it with you guys. So yeah, be paying attention. Subscribe. I will keep you updated. I am currently in Orlando, Florida. Well, technically I'm in Kissimmee, but I am in Orlando, Kissimmee area. If any of you want to connect, my email is on my channel. Please like, please subscribe, please share. I want to connect with you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you. And I want to connect. Okay? So if you need answers to some of your questions, let me know. I'll tell you where to go, or I'll answer them myself. By the way, I'm on Fiverr. I put out my services on there for coaching. So if you would like to have a half hour, or several sessions with me, you can go on there, find me. I'm under Tara to Basic. And I would love to be able to sit down and I will have a one-on-one with you. And I will help you try to identify some of those areas, or I can be there for encouragement, whatever you need. That's what I'm here for. So, and help support me in that regard. You know, right now, it would be awesome to be able to have some of that support as well. So, I love you guys, and I will be talking to you soon. Trust me, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm just going to get bigger and louder and more intense. Scary.